What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering, and some of the early earnings numbers have been floating out from Hollywood, and we saw that AT&T, which owns Warner Brothers or Warner Media, lost almost $1 billion. IMAX took a massive loss, and theaters continue to push back any potential opening further and further back. I, for one, have kind of just come to accept probably won't be this year, and even once they do open, I'm not sure it will ever be the same. And now they are concerned that people will now get used to streaming content after a brand new deal between AMC and Universal, which will force a 17-day window before people can stream. But that said, did you know that nearly 40% of my viewers are not subscribed? I hope today will be the day I earn your subscription. I've been taking your feedback, varying up my content. Today you've seen I've already covered the seeds from China. I covered a particular lawsuit. I covered, I'll have a Johnny video later. Please hit that red subscribe button right below the video. Now, I kind of felt that. Thank you. Thank you for doing that. A few more of you did it. Thank you. I like that. How Wall Street views the AMC Universal theatrical window deal. We worry that near-term impact on attendance can be more substantial, and consumers in the long run will continue to opt to watch more non-blockbuster films in their home, says one Wall Street expert. No, of course, I 100% agree with this. Will I want to see Tenet in the theater? Probably. If I could have streamed it, if I could have paid $20 to stream it like last month or whatever it was supposed to come out, I would have done that. Absolutely. I understand that, you can go to a matinee at a theater, and some of them for $5 or $8, and paying $20 to rent a movie is absurd. But if you really think about it, you can talk yourself into it, because you've got 2 people, 3 people watching at $15 a head for most evening theaters. That's $45. $20 is a good deal. Now, they should let me own it for that price. That's what I would like to see. But that said, I haven't seen any data surrounding whether or not the high seas has found a way around this. So maybe they're worried, okay, if we stream Tenet, that means someone can just, the very first day it comes out, someone can rip it, and then boom, it's available on the various bays and other types of websites where you can get this. Nobody's really talking about that, but I got to assume if you're streaming it to a television, I'm sure there's a way to capture that. And then once you capture that, then boom, it's available to be out there. Now, Wall Street analysts on Wednesday weighed on AMC Theaters' historic agreement with Universal Pictures that will allow the studio's movies to be made available on premium VOD after just 17 days in cinemas, including 3 weekends. That's not even that great. I guess it's, when you think about, waiting for DVDs or something like that, how that might normally take, several months after a movie comes out. So I suppose, but video on demand, as far as I understand, you don't own it. You just get it for like a 24-hour window. The deal initially covers AMC's U.S. locations, shatters the traditional theatrical window of nearly 3 months before studios can make them available at home. The partners didn't detail financial terms, but AMC is the world's largest theater chain and is expected to share in the revenue from PVOD. What's PVOD? Premium video on demand. Well, I suppose if they get a kickback, but why? If you're the studios, why do you care? In a report entitled "The Day the Windows Broke," Nathanson, analyst Michael Nathanson, called the development a groundbreaking moment in film industry. What does it mean for movies that are going and the like? Nathanson predicts that movie attendance will be cannibalized. He said looking at the top 2019 film categories shows that roughly 80 to 90% of total box office was generated within the first 4 weeks, with the first 3 weeks accounting for 70 to 80%. So the 17-day option becomes standard across all studios. We expect a higher level of movie attendance cannibalization than if the exhibitors could have held the premium video on demand window at 30 days. If consumers are trained to wait only a few weeks to watch a movie at home, especially while the COOF is around, we worry that near-term impact on attendance can be more substantial, and consumers in the long run will continue to opt to watch more non-blockbuster films in their homes going forward. Of course, the lower box office attendance will also negatively impact the high margin per capita spending on food and beverages. That's also true. It costs like 15 cents roughly to build fill a large soda at a cinema, and they'll charge you $6 for it. But he concluded, given the premium video on demand revenue take for studios and depending on the PVOD price net, we think the outcome is a positive for major Hollywood studios. Nathanson, in his Wednesday report, also reiterated his previously voiced opinion that the only long-term winners in film are Netflix, Amazon, and Disney because they have built scaled global streaming platforms that will benefit from a shortened release cycle of theatrical films to populate their own proprietary SVOD platforms. He expects the AMC Universal window deal to pressure those unaligned studios to consolidate to find cost synergies as profitable long-term windows like home entertainment, cable syndication, and Pay One are squeezed by SVOD competition. As far as exhibitors go, the fact that AMC has struck the deal with Universal puts the rest of the industry at a disadvantage, Nathanson suggested. It's still possible Cinemark and Cineworld will push for greater economics and longer period of theatrical exclusivity. However, now that Universal and maybe other studios shortly have this deal in place as an initial template, it may be challenging to find other outcomes meaningfully improve terms. I still think movie theaters are in dire straits. I really do. I think if I look at what AMC stock, is it traded under AMC? AMC Entertainment Holdings. Yeah. I mean, pretty bad, but also, hasn't been great all year. Now, I don't know why it went up in June. Optimism that things were going to open up again, and then when they pushed it back to July, it dropped back down. It's interesting. I don't know if they'll ever fill a theater again, and Hollywood seems to have given up on the United States. Hollywood is finally admitting that the U.S. is a lost cause. The country's sluggish response to the COOF has forced movie studios to release big movies such as Christopher Nolan Tenet abroad first, a highly unusual move for the industry. Yeah, I'm happy for it, because I'm sure it'll be floating out in the water somewhere where I can just paddle my way out there, and then there'll be an English version somewhere. And, hypothetically. Finally, there is some good news for Hollywood. Yesterday, Warner Brothers announced that Christopher Nolan's highly anticipated... Oh, my cat's laying on the keyboard. Colty, you can't lay on my keyboard. Tenet will debut next month following multiple delays. As everything's been shut down across the globe, Tenet has been widely regarded as the film that could revive a depressed theater industry and is now having its chance. Starting at August 26th, the movie will screen at more than 70 countries, including South Korea, Australia, Canada, and much of Europe, but none of the United States. Instead, Tenet will arrive in, quote, select American cities 2 weeks later in time for Labor Day, and given the country's ever-growing issues, that select list is likely to be very, very short. A $205 million global trotting production whose plot has been kept a secret, Tenet was given a July 17th, 2020 release date before it even had a title. Like other major studios forced to change their blockbuster release schedule, Warner Brothers tried to nudge Tenet down the calendar 2 weeks at a time as things simply got out of control. But the U.S. is not ready for big films to return, and the country has lost its position in the most important movie market in the world. Don't care. Don't care. You know what I'm saying? You feel me there, my fellow brothers and sisters? Don't care. Unfortunately, Americans are likely months away from their own theaters reopening under similar circumstances as countries where Tenet is premiering. As of this writing, China has reported 231 new cases over the past 7 days, and South Korea 404. The United States 463,000. Again, we need to know how many people are being tested. Leaving that out is sloppy. Though the country's biggest theater chain, AMC, says it wants to open venues in mid to late August, it's not certain that the biggest markets in New York and LA will even permit such a thing. Where exactly the movie could screen in the U.S. Labor Day weekend is unclear. I'm sure the Midwest. The state of the movie theaters in the U.S. remain dire. Currently, about 250 American cinemas are reporting box office totals every weekend. Many of them drive-ins. Almost all of the new movies released theatrically this summer have been low-budget efforts. If Tenet sticks to its August 26th release date, it could be a huge test for Hollywood. Many critics see the movie's cinema's potential savior, I doubt it, an original big-screen blockbuster that could compel anxious audiences to pay money to sit in an enclosed room with a bunch of strangers. No! In what world? Look, I'm as loose as they come when it comes to this, but like, I'm not going to pay money to sit in a petri dish and be forced to wear a mask. Not interested. And honestly, I'm really not interested in going to the movies at all anymore. Now, hopefully that changes, because I used to have really fond memories of the movie theater and going there with, the wife and having a good time. But with everything Hollywood's been up to, I'm just really not interested. Tenements rollout will be closely watched by other studios that are mulling what to do with their own blockbusters. Disney remake of Mulan has been pulled indefinitely until theaters reopen widely, although that studio could follow Tenet's lead if things progress safely. Every other major film planned for the summer has been pushed, including Wonder Woman to October, Pixar's Soul, and Marvel's Black Widow, both to November, the latest Fast and Furious to April. I mean, I don't know. I don't think theaters are ever going to be the same. I think AMC is going to have to do a major reduction in the number of theaters that they have. I think you're going to see a huge price increase, which is obviously not good when you have high unemployment. I don't see AMC existing in the same way that it does today much longer. And even with them striking this deal today, we did see a nice little bump in their stock. But I mean, you're talking about 10 cents. Actually, it's still down. Oh, there we go. It went up a penny. I mean, so largely, even with this deal, the stock market does not view AMC as a contender. Oh, no, by the way, they're owned by China, so fine, close down tomorrow. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Please stay notified that way. We'll talk to you again real soon.